Well, hello there. Living here in the forest, I meet many other animals like the fox and the bear and the squirrel. But these types of animals have not always lived on our planet. Millions of years ago, the Earth was populated by a family of large reptiles called the dinosaurs. These dinosaurs were related to many of the reptiles we see today, like lizards and snakes. So join me as we take a journey through the window of knowledge to learn more about the dinosaurs.
Once there was a time when huge beasts, such as these great dinosaurs, roamed the earth. For almost 150 million years, they were part of the world's life. We know they were here because their bones or fossils have been found on nearly every continent, including North America. A great many of them in the United States. If you draw a line to represent time from the present back 450 million years into the past, you can say that the fishes began here. Then came the amphibians, the reptiles, the mammals, and the birds. Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. The dinosaurs began about here 225 million years ago. The last of them were gone about 70 million years before man appeared. Man has lived on Earth a comparatively short time, only about 1 million years. Some dinosaurs, such as the Brontosaurus, were enormous. They grew to be as long as 70 feet, the size of a house. One could weigh as much as 25 tons, the weight of 12 automobiles. Not all dinosaurs were big, however. Here is one, Coelophysis, which was only about 8 feet long. He was a meat eater, lightweight for his size, and very fast. The great Brontosaurus was slow, spending much of the time in the water of warm tropic swamps, probably going on land only to lay its eggs in the dry, sun-drenched sand of the beaches. Like most reptiles, the dinosaurs reproduced by eggs. In the water, the Brontosaurus found support for its huge body and a ready supply of its favorite food, water plants. Unlike warm-blooded mammals, the dinosaurs were not able to keep a constant body temperature. They depended upon the warmth of their surroundings to maintain body heat. Some dinosaurs had special ways of protecting themselves. The Stegosaurus, a plant eater, had an armor of bony plates that shielded him from his enemies. His spiked tail could be a dangerous weapon. Then there was Tyrannosaurus, a vicious meat eater that grew as long as 50 feet. His huge head was mostly mouth, filled with knife-like teeth. His short forelimbs were of little use to him, and he was so slow that he probably could catch only old or sick animals for food. Triceratops belonged to a group of dinosaurs called horn facers. largest of these, and any other animal would hesitate to attack him. Another horn face, Monoclonius, developed a single horn on his snout, much like the present-day rhinoceros. All of the horn faces were plant eaters, and all had beaks like parrots. The trachodons, called duckbills, were from head to tail as long as a large truck and trailer. They, too, were plant eaters. The tops of their heads, however, differed greatly in shape, making several varieties of duckbills. The flying reptiles seen in the background are pteranodons. They lived at the same time as the duckbills, but are not members of the dinosaur family. Centuries went by, the lands and climate in which the dinosaurs lived changed. Those able to adapt to new conditions continued to thrive. Here is the Ankylosaurus, one of the last dinosaur survivors. The horned lizard of today is cold-blooded like the dinosaurs. This South American iguana is also a cold-blooded reptile. The last of the dinosaurs were gone about 70 million years ago. How do we know as much about them as we do, considering the fact that they were gone long before man appeared? There is no agreement as to why they died out. One belief is that they died because the climate changed. Another, that possibly the food supply became inadequate. And still another, that mammals ate the dinosaur eggs. We just don't know. Our world today is still changing. Why would it be helpful for us to know why some animals succeed in surviving as the world changes and others, such as the dinosaurs, do not?
After the dinosaurs became extinct, a new family of animals began to rule the earth. These were warm-blooded animals called mammals. These mammals of the past are related to animals you see today. So let's take a look at some of these early mammals.
What are mammals? Unlike fish and modern reptiles, which are cold-blooded, mammals are warm-blooded. This enables them to adapt better to changes in temperature and environment. Birds, most reptiles and fish lay eggs. While most mammals give birth to their young live and suckle them with milk. Usually, mammals have hair or fur to protect them and keep them warm. Earth is approximately 5.5 billion years old. Animal life first appeared over 3 billion years ago. Fish began here, then came the amphibians and reptiles. The age of reptiles began about 230 million years ago and ended about 65 million years ago, which was the beginning of the Cenozoic era, the age of mammals. The first primitive mammals appeared during the age of reptiles. Small mammals, such as this Deltatherium, seen here eating a dinosaur egg, resembled the opossums and shrews of today. This Eohippus was the ancestor of our modern horse, but was only the size of a small dog. He originated in North America 55 million years ago. Unlike the modern horse, which has hooves, Eohippus had claws. During the next 55 million years, he evolved, gradually growing larger and losing his extra toes. The middle toe grew longer, and the toenail became a hoof. Almost 2 million years ago, the modern horse called Equus appeared. He traveled by land bridge through Alaska to Asia. In time, he died out in North America. But thousands of years later, he was brought back to America by European explorers. Like the horse, all animals which are alive today are related to animals which lived long ago. Early mammals were generally small and were preyed upon by larger animals, such as the flesh-eating bird, Diatryma, which grew nearly 9 feet tall. A few mammals grew to enormous proportions. Of all the mammals that ever lived on land, the Belucotherium was the largest, standing twice as tall as any modern elephant. Although it had no horn, the Belucotherium was actually a species of rhinoceros. One of the strangest looking primitive mammals was the Platybelodon, an ancient relative of the elephant. His lower tusks and long, curved jaw formed a shovel-like mouth which he used to scoop up his food. The Glyptodon was a giant armored mammal related to the modern-day armadillo. From head to tail, he measured close to 12 feet in length. The Megatherium was a giant ground sloth. He was a slow, awkward animal. Although he usually walked on all 4 legs, the Megatherium was able to rear up on his hind legs to reach tree leaves, using his claws to pull down branches. One of the fiercest prehistoric mammals was the saber-toothed cat, Smilodon. Armed with large, curved teeth and sharp claws, he could kill animals twice his size. Even though this Smilodon is hungry, he's not foolish enough to attack the armored Glyptodon. Instead, he decides to look for easier prey. About 2 million years ago, the world's climate began to change and grow colder. Great fields of ice called glaciers covered many parts of the Earth near the poles. While some areas stayed warm, others grew very cold. This period was the beginning of the Ice Age. Many of the mammals could not adapt to the new climate and became extinct. Others, such as this woolly mammoth, developed thick, hairy coats to protect them from the cold. Preserved remains of mammoths have been found in the permanently frozen ground of Siberia and Alaska. One mammal was different from all the others: man. Although his body was small and weak, his brain was large. Man's intelligence gave him a means to survive. When it became too cold, he made clothes to keep himself warm. He made weapons to protect himself, and also tools which he used in many ways. Man soon ruled the earth. From humble beginnings, mammals developed to become masters of the earth. Some forms of mammals died out and became extinct. Others are still alive today. Man has existed only a few million years, a very short period in the history of Earth. With his superior intelligence, man is the first and only mammal with the ability to change the world around him. Will man survive? The choice is ours.
Many species of animals were able to survive throughout time because they were able to adapt. This means that they were able to change or adjust themselves to fit the changing environment. Let's examine a few animals and see how they use their adaptations to survive.
Strange-looking animals live all over our Earth. Some have long noses, big ears, short, fat bodies, long necks, long legs, and many other things that make them appear odd to us. The things that make these animals appear strange to us are often the things that help them live the way that they do. The giraffe's long neck enables it to reach food that most other animals can't reach. A long neck also helps the giraffe to see enemies at a great distance. And down in the deep grass. When it comes to drinking, the long neck can be a bit of a problem. The elephant's large ears help it have very good hearing. The strange-looking trunk has several uses. Those things about an animal's body that enable it to live the way that it does are called adaptations. The ostrich has a long neck, long legs, and keen eyesight. These are adaptations. They enable the ostrich to see its enemies and to possibly outrun them. A bird's bill is an adaptation to its way of life. Each animal has adaptations for everything that it does. Let's look at the adaptations that some animals have for getting food. The anteater is a strange, clumsy-looking animal. It is well fitted, however, for getting its main diet of ants. What adaptations do you see that it uses to get ants? This chameleon crawls through tree branches looking for food. It has feet that help it live where it does. The chameleon can move its eyes so that it can see in more than one direction at the same time. It also has a long, sticky tongue. Can you see how it uses these adaptations to get food? The platypus is found in Australia. It gets its food in the rivers where it lives. What is there about its body that helps it get its food? Animals have interesting adaptations for moving. The sloth lives in trees. It has feet with hook-like claws. They are wonderful for moving upside down through the limbs of trees. How do you suppose these feet would be for walking on the ground? The mud skipper is a fish that has two adaptations that allow it to move about out of water. It carries water around its gills. This water keeps its gills moist and allows it to breathe. Perhaps most remarkable, it can use its fins something like legs. animals have adaptations that protect them from their enemies. The armadillo carries a suit of armor with it. The spiny anteater has at least 2 ways to protect itself from enemies. Can you tell what these 2 ways are by watching? A small frog like this might jump to escape its enemies. Watch as this one uses another adaptation to avoid being eaten. The appearance of strange and unusual animals makes sense when we know how they use their adaptations to survive. Do humans have as many adaptations as these animals? Do the animals that you see every day have as many adaptations as these strange and unusual animals?
I hope you learned a great deal about dinosaurs, mammals, and strange creatures. Remember, the animal kingdom evolved into what it is today from other families of animals that existed millions of years ago. Visit your library for more information on these animals. Well, I have to go now, but I'll be back. Goodbye. Hi, kids! Make sure you see the other shows in Concord Children's Video Encyclopedia series. You'll learn about dinosaurs and strange creatures, weather, African animals, space and early rockets, life under the sea, and many other subjects. Have fun while you learn. They're affordably priced. See you soon!